Good morning, everyone. In this session, let us learn about arrays, structures, and unions. Okay. Now, let us see arrays. Okay. So, before learning arrays, let me give a brief discussion about a variable. Okay. How you will initialize a variable? It is a data type. I'm just giving the syntax to declare a variable. You will give the data type, variable name, which I'm just writing as v name, and if you want to initialize the value, you'll give a value over here. Okay, so this is the syntax to declare a variable. Now, what is variable is going to do? Example, I'll just declare integer. It is some I, and you are just initializing the value some 8. Okay, here you can write value. Okay, so here it is the value. So I have initialized a variable here. So now what happens in the memory? If you see, okay, suppose this is my memory. Okay, so with an address of some 2000, so it is going to store I is the variable name and the value is 8, right? So this is the address where I have stored I variable with name I and the value of 8. That means if I declare another variable, okay, some n equals to 10, then what it will be? Some 2000, and it is n, and it is the value is 10, right? That means for every location, for every variable, for every single variable, I'm just able to store only one value, right? Now, for every single variable declaration, I can store only one value. Now, I have to store 30 values. So what I have to do is this: I have to declare 30 variables, some n, m, k. Okay, is this I have to declare 30 variables. If I want to declare 1000 numbers, my Aadhaar card, for my Aadhaar card, something else, or else you can say your roll numbers. Okay, I want to store your roll numbers. Okay, so 1000 people are there. Let us assume 1000 students are there in the Sridevi College. So if I want to store these 1000 numbers, what I have to do? I have to take 1000 variables, right? And I have to store. Okay, so this is the thing. Is it's a complicated process. It is a complicated process for readability. It is a complicated process for memory storage, all those things. So what I will do, I'll take a array instead of storing single variable in one single value in one variable. I'll just take the array. So your array is nothing but the collection of elements of single data type, right? So let me show you, like if I want to declare, I can int, I can say like this: array is a collection of homogeneous elements, MENTS, right? Collection of homogeneous elements. Okay, so now so how many elements I can store? I can store 10, I can store 100, I can store 1000. Okay, so if I want to store details of a single family, so like in a joint family there might be 10 members, so I'll take an array of 10, size of 10. If I want to store ECE 1 students, ECE 2 students, or a branch wise students, I can go with the array of size 100. If I want to store the Sridevi College, all Sridevi College students numbers, means I will go with array of size 1000. Okay, so now let us see the syntax how an array is declared. Okay, it is data type, array name, and with a square brackets you can give the size of the array. Okay, and here you can initialize the values in the array. Okay, so here you can initialize the values, whatever the size you have declared, you can initialize over here. Okay, closed by a curly braces, right? So let us see the example. Like I want to store the roll numbers of 100 members. Okay, so roll numbers means I'll just give integer data type. Okay, roll number, my variable name will be the roll number, of size how much, 100. Okay, so equals to, you can initialize here the numbers, or in the program you can do. Okay, so how these will be stored in the memory. Okay, so I'm just inserting, see here, I'm just adding a column again, insert rows below. Okay, so this is my memory. Let me assume this is my memory. So I'm just storing, for the convenience I'll just store 10 numbers. Okay, so 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9 and 10. Okay, so initially my array name is roll number. Here it is going to store the values like this, and here the size of the array is 10, so it starts with 0. Okay, it is called as index. Okay, so here 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So the total size of the array is, it is n minus 1. N minus 1. So what is n here? N is 10. So n minus 1 is, it implies 10 minus 1, that equals to 9. So my size of the array is the index, you can say from 0 to 9. Okay, size of the array is 10. Like it starts with 0 and it is n minus 1, 10, 9, 10 minus 1, it is 9, right? So now I have declared the variables over here, array over here, and if I want to access a particular number, like 5, so what I will do, I can ask like a print f. Okay, a of, I can directly give a of 5. Okay, at location 5, what is the number we are having? We are having 4, right? So you can directly access the a of 5 is, it is here, this is the index number, the bottom is the index number, not the top one, the bottom you are having the index number. So at the location 5 you are having the value 6. Okay, so this bottom is the index number and the top one is the values, right? So now when you want to access a particular element, you will refer with the index number. Now let me let me declare some array and print the array. Okay, so int some a of 5. Okay, I have declared the variable integer array a. Okay, here I have initialized the values here itself. 1, let us give another numbers, 10, 20, 30, 40 and 50. So here what is going to happen in the memory, what it is going to happen, let us give the values 10, 20, 30, 40 and 50, and here the index number is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so now I want to print these elements. So what I will do, I'll just 3, it is 4. Okay, so here I'm just printing the elements over here. Okay, I'm just printing. So first initially we have to print the element 10, which is at the index 0. Later on the control must go to the next location at the memory. Later on, after printing this, it has to go to the next location in the memory, and here it has to go to the next location in the memory, and here it has to go to the next location in the memory. Okay, once the index was like the index number, like the size of the array was printing done, then it has to go to the, like, control must come out of the loop. So what I will do, I'll just use a for loop. Okay, int some I equals to array index is starting with 0. Okay, I less than or equals to 4, as the size of the array is like n minus 1, you can say 4 and I plus plus. Okay, so what you are going to print, some printf. So simply I can write like this. Okay, percentile d, you just print, you have to print the value of a of I. Okay, already I have read the values. Now I am printing the values. Okay, so for I at I equals to 0, okay, it prints the value a of at the location a of 0. So what is here at the location a of 0? It is 10, which I am marking was the printed one. Okay, next the I will be incremented. Later on, when the I increments, for next I equals to 1, 1 less than or equals to 4. Yes, the condition is true, and it has implementing printing the this line of statement, a of 1, right, at the location a of 1, right. What is the number value you are having? It is having 20, so it will print 20. Okay, next it checks the condition. It increments the value, right. After displaying, after executing all these set of statements, it increments. Okay, the third section in the for loop, it will executes, it increments the value. Now I value is incremented by 2, so it checks the condition over here and prints the value 30. Okay, next it was incremented by 3 and checks the condition over here and in, like, prints the set of, executes the set of instructions in the for loop. Here the set of instructions given here we wrote here is a printf statement, so that it prints the value at a of 3, that is 40. Okay, again it goes to, it increments and checks the condition and prints the value at a of 4. Okay, so it prints 50. Now it again it increments to 5, 5 less than or equals to 4. The condition failed and control comes out of the loop. For this purpose, like storing homogeneous elements is nothing but, like, for storing homogeneous elements we will use arrays. Okay, so let us see in detail. If you see here, it is a collection of homogeneous elements, similar group of elements, or else you can say similar group of elements. So fruits is one array name. If you take, like, fruits come into one category, vegetables come into one category. If you consider like this, fruit is an array name. Okay, so my array is going to store fruits kind of thing. So when coming to non-homogeneous, different elements. Okay, so similarities, like when you compare with a variable and an array, variable is used to storage purpose, and array, both of them are storage purpose, but variable can store only single value and your array can store multiple values. So here, as I said, the declaration of the array is data type, array name and size. Okay, so here you can initialize without, if you are not specific with the size, so you can declare like this. You can go with the empty braces also if you are not specific with the size. Okay, so these are the ways you can declare a array. Okay, next, later on, what are the advantages of arrays? It is used to represent multiple data items but of single name, using only single name. Okay, so by giving only one name, with giving a, you can declare 10, 20, 30, how many values you can store by using arrays. It can be used to implement data structures like linked lists, stacks, queues, trees, graphs, etc. 2D arrays are used to represent matrices. For the matrix representation purpose, we will use 2D arrays. Okay, which will be learned array later. 2D arrays, about 2D arrays. Array is a static structure. It means array is of fixed size. Okay, once I have declared, this indicates like I have 1,000 people in Sridevi College as of now. For the next academic year, the size of the students will be surely increasing. So what it means, now my program, I have to change my program because it is of fixed size. Okay, so this is one of the drawback in the arrays. Since array is of fixed type, if we allocate the memory, more memory than requirement, then memory space. Okay, you can say like, why not you can declare 10,000 now only. So if I declare 10,000 or 20,000 as an array, the memory will be wasted when you are not sure about the incoming, like the students number. So it is the wastage of memory declaring previously itself. Okay, so this is one of the disadvantage. The elements of the array are stored in consecutive memory locations, so insertions and deletions are very difficult and time consuming. Okay, here array elements are storing in the contiguous memory locations. That means one after another they will store in the memory. So if I am having some, let us assume I am having some 1,000 elements or 10,000 elements or many elements I am having. So if I want to search, so here my index is also 999, right? 9,999. This was the total size minus my 1. So I want to search this particular element, right? That means I want to search 9,998 element. Okay, I want to search 1,000 students are there in the Sridevi, 10,000 students are there in the Sridevi College. Now I want to search this number, some number randomly. We can give 150, some randomly this number, this 9998 number at the location, and this number was this, her roll number is, we can say 15894. Okay, I want to search this particular roll number is existing or not. That means if she is detained or she is continuing her education or not, I have to check. So what I will do, I have to search from the initial index, like initial memory element. I have to search all the elements until the element was found. Okay, searching is complicated when you are using arrays and writing a program using arrays. Okay, searchings, insertions and deletions are very difficult and time consuming as well. Okay, so we are having one dimensional arrays, two dimensional arrays and multi-dimensional arrays. Okay, when coming to single dimensional, one dimensional arrays, they are also called as single dimensional arrays. Okay, we will declare in a single line of statement. That means in this declaration it is either row or column. So when coming to multidimensional arrays, I can say, you are having an idea of 2 by 2 matrix. Likewise, your multidimensional arrays are also going to store. If you see here, okay, so here I am having 4 columns and 3 rows, right? So okay, so this, suppose I have to declare a 2D array. So what I will do, int a of, their rows are 3 rows, right? Row by column, you can say row by column. So 3 by 4. Okay, you can initialize here itself. See here, you can declare like this a 2 by 2 array. Okay, 2D array. If you want to initialize a of 3 by 4, that means row by column equals to, you can give like this. It is 3 rows, right? So I'll just give some 3 numbers, 2, 3 and 4. Okay. And the next one is, you can say some randomly, I'm just giving some numbers. Okay. And the next one is, it is done. Now ending with a semicolon. So here my values are, you can say the location here is a of 0 by 0. Next one is a of 1, a of 1 by, sorry, a of 0th row and first column. Next one is just, okay. Next one is a of 0th row, okay, and it is second column, row by column, right? I'm writing in the 0th row. Okay, a of 0th row and third column. Here also a of first row, it is 0th column. Next one is a of first row, first column. A of first row, it is second column. A of first row, third column. Next, a of it is, yes, 0, 1, 2 by 0 column. Okay. Next, a of second row, it is first column. Okay. So why it is important, why they like writing this? If you want to access this number, surely you want to, you must know the location of the particular element. Sorry. So next, a of, it is second row and you can second column, right? A of it is second row and third column. Okay, so these are the representation, like index representation of a 2 by 2 matrix. So here let us see the values over there. It is 3 by 4, right? So I'm just selecting the 3 by 4. So at the location 2, 3, 4 and 5. Next 4, 6, 7. The values I have given above. Here I have initialized. So these are the values I'm going to locate. 5, 67, 8 and 9. So this is the like assigning the values for a 2 by 2 matrix. In your, if you want to access a of 1, 2, the value will be 7. Okay. So here let us go back to this. Yeah, if you see here 0 through the row by column, you will declare in the first square brackets it is a row and it is a column. Okay, and when coming to initialization, you can initialize like this. Okay, or else directly with the curly braces also you can initialize. Without parenthesis you can give. Okay, you can directly give in the curly braces. Or if you want to initialize overall, you can directly write like this itself. Okay, fine, it will be fine. This way will be fine. Okay, next later on, let us go with the let us go for the next. Here, let us see multi-dimensional arrays. We are done with one-dimensional arrays, two-dimensional arrays. Okay, we are done with the two-dimensional arrays. If you see here, he has declared the marks. Here, marks of 10. So here he is reading the elements. And these programs will be explained in the lab sessions. Here, as of now, you just, he is reading the number of elements. Okay, in the 10. Okay, for example, my array size is 10 here declared. Right now, I just want to access only 5 values. So I'll just give the n as 10, 5. Okay, so it reads the numbers. If you see here, this is the reading. For reading, you will write a for loop. Every time when you read, if you want to read an array, you have to make sure that you have declared a for loop, that you have given them in a for loop. Okay, so here this is, he is reading the marks and he is adding some marks over here. Okay, so next another example for 2D. Okay, so for 2D matrix, he has taken like 2 for loops. Here, if you see, for at I equals to 0, okay, at I equals to 0, for 2D matrix, we are just discussing, right? At I equals to 0, it has to read this element, okay, and then this element. So for that, incrementing in the same row, right, it has to read the rows. For reading rows, I'll take I value. Okay, so rows, how many rows are there? 0, comma 1, comma 2. Fine. For reading rows, I'm just declaring a for loop with I. Then what about reading columns? So for those things, I'll just go with the j element also. For j equals to 0, 1, 2, 3, you will be having. So for at I equals to 0, now initially my first for loop at I equals to 0, it reads I 0, 1, 2, 3, the total columns. So what are the values at the columns? 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, so now the I value is incremented. J condition will be failed, the I value will be incremented. Okay, so here this I value will be incremented now. So at I equals to 1, okay, for I equals to 1 now, every value at J will be readed. Okay, so next now for I equals to 2, the values of the columns of J will be readed, accessed. Okay, so this is the reading process of reading two-dimensional arrays. Okay, so now let us see passing arrays to the functions. Okay, so let me give the brief discussion what is a function. Okay, just if you see, like you are declaring variable like this, int data type and some variable name. Sorry, just a minute. It is the variable declaration is data type. Okay, variable name, which I'm just going to write as vname, equals to some value, right? So when you want to declare a variable, you have to declare what type of data it is going to store and what is the value, right? This is the variable declaration. Now if I want to declare a function, I have to follow some protocols, like you can return type. Okay, so now what is the function going to return? This is return type. Okay, function name, and here the arguments or the parameters. You can say as the parameter list. Whatever you will write here, you will call them as parameters or arguments. Okay. Here you can declare parameters. Okay. Like variables are nothing but like parameters. And you can say some int j. Okay. So this will be a formal parameters. Now here we are just declaring function of return type, name and parameters. See here in the parameters you are declaring a variable. That means these are formal parameters and these carry some value, right? From the main function or else from the calling function. Okay. These carry some values to execute some operations over here, right? We will write set of instructions. So for those purpose, we will pass the values. Okay. So now we can pass here a single value. In my main function, suppose this is my main function, right? I have declared a of some 100, right? I can give it as int a of 100 without confusion. Okay. Now, if I pass only one variable, then what about this regarding 99 values? So here I can pass arrays also through the functions. Okay. So let us see this in detail. See here, here we have declared 2D arrays like 2 by 2 matrix arrays. He has reading the numbers was done. Here the main purpose we have to see here, we have to pass the array. Whatever the values we are giving here by the user. Suppose user has given some numbers 4, 5, 6, 7. So those must be carried here. Okay, this is just a function to print 2 by 2 matrix. Okay, so here he has read the values, like the user is giving the values with a scanf statement. Those numbers are passed through the formal parameters. You can call them as arguments. Okay, so you can pass it through, you can pass arrays also as parameters. Okay, so next is strings. We are done with the arrays. Next, let us discuss strings. So what is a string? String is a collection of characters, right? Collection of values, numerical values, you can call them as arrays. Okay, homogeneous numerical values. And collection of characters is nothing but a string. Okay, this by definition you can say strings are defined as an array of characters. The difference between a character array and a string is the string is terminated with a special character \0. Okay, the string is terminated with a \0. That means if you encounter a \0, that means if a compiler encounters a \0, it indicates that it is the end of a string. Strings are represented within a double quotes. If you see here, these are represented within a double quotes. How you will declare a string? See here, he has declared the string, like you can give char some str of some 10. You can give directly like this. It's a simple as like you are declaring arrays. These are array of strings, nothing but array of strings. Okay, so now let us go with the next definition. Just okay, so here initializing the strings, it is string of like within a single quotes you have to give a single string. If you go above, like in the double quotes, you will give the complete string, and individual characters for storing in the array you will just give as this a n I l and a \0, which indicates that it is an end of string. Okay, so this is a small program which reading the he has declared as, here the string name is AS, and here scanf, like it is reading the values from the user whatever he has given, and it prints the particular values. Okay, and we are having predefined string handling functions. When you are using these functions, it is mandatory. Listen again. When you are using these string handling functions, some sort of string handling functions are predefined by the C, predefined in C. Okay, if you are using these functions, you have to include a file string.h. It is mandatory. If you include this header file into your program, these functions, whatever the functions are there regarding strings, will be dumped into your, will be loaded into your program. So when you want to use these predefined functions, you have to must and should declare this string.h header file with the help of the preprocessor directive include. Okay, so let us see these string concatenations. Strcat means string concatenation, and strcpy is the string copy, and to strlen is the string length and string comparison. Let us see in detail what happens if you are not going to use these predefined functions. Okay, so now the thing is, I have just given a name Sri Devi. Okay, now I want to calculate the length of the string. Okay, to calculate the length of the string, initially I have to declare an array. Okay, char sum s of 10. I'll declare an array. Now in this array, once I will give Sri Devi, once I will give college. So different wordings I will give. Okay, if it is 100 means I can give a lengthy, okay, a lengthy sentence also. I have to calculate these numbers. The length of the string I have to calculate. Here the length of the string is, it is, if you see here, s is considered as one element, r, I, D, E, V, I. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So my length of the string is, it is 7. And here the length of the string is again here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 here. So you can give like this. Let us give WOMENS. If you give like this, Women's College, now the length of the string is 7. The space is considered as 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14. Now my length of the string is 14. In this case, my length of the string is, it is 7, right? So I can come across some scenarios. I have to calculate the length of the string. If you consider like, if you write, you're creating your Gmail, you just can give the 2-letter password. Initially, for the first time you are creating Gmail, right? In the password column, just give 2 characters. Will it accept? No. So how it is evaluating the sort of some scenarios like this? It here it will calculate the length of the string given by the user. If it is less than 8, it will say you just give minimum 8 characters. So in such scenarios, you have to write the program and you have to calculate the length of the string. Okay, so in such scenarios, you have to take an array. Here I have taken this array, and for every time you have to increment the array, right? First it will read W, and then it has to increment, and it count must be increased to 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So if it is if a large number of characters, or else it little time taking process it is. So without doing all sort of such massive logics, you can directly use these string handling functions. Okay, so here let us see what is a string concatenation. Okay, that means concatenation is nothing but joining two words, adding two words. Like you can, concatenating is nothing but you just join two different words. Okay, so in the string one, you have declared Anil, you have taken Anil, and in the string 2, you have taken the word Kumar. If we apply the function string S1 and S2, so the final result will be Anil Kumar. Okay, so this is the function of string concatenation. Okay, here he has given, we have given a small program. Okay, so after concatenation, okay, like and the next is string copy. Okay, you are copying one string to another string. In the result in string 2, if we the functions or the contents in the string 2 will be copied in the string 1. Okay, see here, this is the source file. On the right side you are having the source file, and here on the destination, your left side you are having the destination file. Okay, see, in the right side source file hello world is there, and in the string assign hello, in the he has copied the contents of this string to assign hello world to string str. Okay, so in the str what we are having, if we are having in the str, if it is hello world to str. Okay, so it will assign hello world to str. This is the source string, and to this str string it will copy. Okay, copies, you just blindly remember, on the right side whatever the contents in the source string, it will be copied to the destination string. Okay, next, this is the example program, string copy x, y and x. So the contents in the y will be x will be copied to y. Okay, next is string comparison. String comparison means it function uses to compare two strings. Okay, ASCII difference, ASCII values, it written three type of values. That means after comparing we have to get the result. Whether they are equal, it will get one result. If they are not equal, it get other result. If they are lesser than, like you can say non-negative numbers, not equal means if they are equal it will get 0. If their string is less than, it will give negative ASCII number. If the string is greater than, it gives positive ASCII number. That means it compares, if in first string you are having 4 letters, in the second string it is having 5 letters, means 4 letter, it is a positive, like greater value. So it results, it gives a positive ASCII number. Okay, so next, this is the program for comparing. Okay, so next, using functions. Here, passing, you can pass, like in the arrays, you can pass the arrays also. Okay, so here, this is our okay string handling functions. Here we can pass here where string, here at this line of statement, in the through functions we can pass the strings also. Okay, likewise arrays, we can pass strings also using functions. Next is pointers. Pointers, no, like well, let us see, another string handling function is there. It is the string length. As I said previously, string length is used to count the length of the string. Here the space is also be considered as a string. Okay, next, going to the structures. Okay, so what are structures? So you can go with the structures here. Fine. Now again I'm repeating, just if you declare a variable, okay, so now how many values it is going to store? one value, right? Now my requirement is I want to store 100 values. So what I will do, I will go with the arrays, right? Giving the size. But what here I can I store the like if I want to store a data of your address, I can store only your roll number, right? So I can store only roll number, right? Now the thing is I have to store your roll number, your name, your address, right? Okay, so is it possible to store these different values here in a single array? No, it is impossible to store different types of data. Only one kind of data I can store. Okay, so only numbers I can store in the array. So now I have to store your name, which is of character data type, address again of character data type. Like I can go with the, I can't go with the arrays for this type of requirement, right? So now what I will do, the solution is here, structures. Structures, you can declare different data types. Okay, in structures, you can declare different data types. As our array is having a drawback of having homogeneous elements, homogeneous data types you can store, homogeneous elements only we can store. But now I have to declare different elements. Like if you go to the clothing store, it is having some kids, like you are having some women, men, different. So to store, to access the data regarding a store having different types of clothing, I will go to go with the structures. Okay, I'll just go with the structures. So let me show you the syntax. You'll use a struct keyword. Okay, by using the struct keyword, you will declare structures. Okay, now here structure name. Okay, so the keyword I'm just highlighting with a yellow color. Okay, so it is a keyword. Structure name is of user defined. Whatever the name you can give, you can give, but suggestible, you just give the name. Like when you are accessing with the library, so give the structure name as library. When you are accessing like storing or doing task regarding some employees, you just give the structure name as employee. If you are accessing with the college related details, you just give with the student name. Okay, so structure name. And here the structure members, structure. So what are the structure members here? Okay, so it is data type and the variable name. Okay, data type, again data type, variable name. Okay, closed by a parenthesis. And here you will give your structure variable, right? So ending with a semicolon. This is the syntax you have to follow while writing structures. Okay, while writing the structures, while declaring the structures, you have to follow this syntax. Now, what is this structure name and what is this structure variable? Structure name is nothing but the name like given to a structure, and this is the variable, something you want to access structure members with the help of the variable and the structure variables. You will access this structure names. Okay, so let me show you in detail by explaining. Okay, so I just declare struct. My structure name is, I can go with the employee, opening curly braces, employee name for, sorry, it is integer data type, right? So employee number, and next employee number, it is employee name. Okay, and next employee address. Okay, so here I have declared. Now I have to declare the structure variable. So my structure variable is, I will just give E1, right? Structure variable as E1. So I can declare this employee E1 structure variable in different way also. If I'm not going to declare here, come out of the that curly braces, and you just declare here also struct. Okay, emp. See here, I have declared this structure name here as emp, right? So here I have to, for which structure I am having 10 structures, so for which structure I am declaring the variable. Okay, so for the emp structure I am declaring the variable, so e1, right? So this is the way of, two ways you can directly declare after the curly braces ending with a semicolon, and you can declare here also. Done. Next, you just like how you will access the structure variables. With the help of the dot operator, you will access the structure variables. Okay, so here you can initialize the structure variables also. You can initialize here also. Okay, some employee number is here, it is name, right? Employee number is 100. Employee name is, you can give as some. Okay, let us look. An employee address is something you can give as, let us check this, some naga. Okay, so you can give like this. Now I have to access this employee details. So what I will do, so to access the the structure members, we will be having a dot operator. Okay, see here, it is a dot operator. By using this dot operator, we will access the structure members. So the syntax is, you can say the structure variable even dot number. Okay, so if I give printf even dot number, something like this, simply I'm just telling even dot number, it will go there, fetches the value, and it prints. Okay, so here you can give percentile d. It can, if you want to write it in detail, let us go like this. Okay, right? So what the number it will print? It will print the 100. Okay, so here this is going to happen, right? So now this is going to happen, printf even dot number. So with the help of the dot operator, I'm just highlighting this. With the help of the dot operator, you will access structure members. Now the thing is, I'm just able to access only one structure member. Is it the thing, the employees in the company, only one employee? No, we will be having multiple employees. Let us see again in briefly, like definitions. Structure is a user defined data type that allows to combine data items of different kinds. Okay, here you have to note user defined data type. We are designing our structure, we are declaring our own structure, we are giving the requirement, what the structure, what the members of the structure must be. So user defined data type. Okay, this is the user defined data type. Okay, so here the keyword is struct, and the items are different kinds of data. We can declare integer, character, floating values, all those things we can declare. If you see here, there I have taken the employee example. So now you have to write here the library example. So what are the details you are having regarding books? Title, author, subject, book ID. Okay. So you just declare a structure. You can call it as a structure tag or a structure name. Okay. And these are the structure variables. Either you can call member definition or structure variables. Sorry, structure members. And here this is the structure variable. Okay, you can declare any number of variables. I just declared one variable here, a second number, like second employee details. I will access here, and the third employee details, and I can declare any number of structure variables. If I want to access like a store employee 3, so e3 dot some number, it is number itself, equals to, I'll just give some 500, something like this I can give. Okay, so let us see in detail. The template is terminated with a semicolon. If you see here, we have ended the structure with a semicolon. Okay, next, while while the entire definition is considered as a statement, each member is declared independently for its name and the type in the separate name inside the template. Okay, so we are declaring here different types of data. Okay, and next, tag name can be used to declare structure variables of its type later in the program. Okay, here if like this tag name, you can directly give tag name here, right? E1, E2, E3. If you are not declaring here, you can declare later in a new line of statement here also. Okay. So next, he declared like he has given like here books. Okay, these are the members, and this is the variable, structure variable. Okay, so next, going to the next slide. This is the declaring of a structure. Like if you see the above slide, here we have declared here itself after the curly braces. If you are not declaring there, you can declare with the help of the structure variable, structure name later on in the new line of statement also. Okay, so these are all we discussed. Without the tag name, we cannot use it for further declaration. That means your variable name or tag name, you can call as structure variable or tag name. Either you can use the notation terminology, you can use both the terminology. Okay, so they may also appear before the main, like when you are defining the macros or when you are defining the header files, you can declare there itself. The definition is global and can be used by other functions as well. Here, type defined structures. Okay, so what are type defined structures? By definition, we can say type name is the type defined definition name, not a variable, and we cannot define a variable with type def declaration. That means here he is just declaring the type def. That means type def is mainly used, you can say type definition name you can give. It is not considered as a variable, it is considered as a type def declaration. You can say it as a type def declaration. Okay, so next, if you want to copy B1, as I said, with the help of dot operator, you will access. Okay, so the link between the variables is established with the help of the dot operator. Dot operator you can call as a period operator. Okay, so to access the members, you'll just declare like this b1 dot title, b1 dot pages. You just write like that. Okay, he has given a program over here. Is reading p1 dot name. When the user gives the name, it goes and store in the name of p1, like at the place memory location by name. by hall ticket number and the location. Okay, and here printing the values of the given structure. Okay, initializing the structure. You can give directly here also the values, or else at the runtime also you can give these values. And next, this is another example. Rules for initializing the structure. It is a keyword, and if you want to access with the help of the period operator, and it has to terminate with semicolon, set of values are separated by and using a comma enclosed in a flower parenthesis. If you see here, if you want to declare a set of values, you can in the curly braces, so you can write in the new line in a curly braces, separating with a comma, you can initialize the values like this. Okay, so later copying and comparing structure variables. Okay, two variables of the same structure can be copied in the same way as the ordinary variables. Okay, if I am having even dot, I'm having even dot number, right? And E2 dot number. These both are of same data type, like number data type. Okay, so you can copy E2's number to even number, right? So in which type of scenarios you may encounter this type of statements, like even was resigned and went off. The employee even was went, like he was resigned and he was no more in the working space. He is not there here. So I have to go E2. I will give the E2's number to even, okay, and E3's number to E2, something like this. In these scenarios you want to copy the numbers of the employees, right? So in such cases you can copy the values of two variables also. Okay, so it is the assignment. Okay, that means S2's number will be copied to S1, and here this is the comparison whether they are equal, and here the comparison if they are equal or not. Okay, given a small program, see here he is comparing S3 equals to S1. Okay, so copying the values of assigning, like S2 values will be assigned to S3. Like you would be having two same books when you consider as a library task. If you consider, so instead of writing same details of S2, suppose a student 2, or else you can say you just give like this. Okay, in the book library B1 is there. Okay, B2 book is there. Okay, okay, B2 book is there, and now I have added a new book B3. Same B2, whatever the author is there and how many pages, the books both B2 and B3 are same books. So without again giving all the values, without initializing all the values, I can directly copy all the contents of B3 to B2 by just giving assignment operator. Okay, so next, just a while. You can copy here, you can copy the total contents of one variable to another variable, of one structure, like a structure variable to another structure variable. Complete contents you can copy. Operation on an individual member. Okay, increment and decrement is also applied. Okay, you can increment or decrement the members of the structure variable also. Now arrays with structures. Array, as you know, it is a homogeneous collection of data, and structures are different kind of data. We can give, it is a user defined data type of different data types, collection of different data types. Array is derived data type, and here structure is a user defined data type. Array behave like a built-in data type, and structure we first design and declare the data structure before the variables are declared and used. Without using, previously using, you have to declare a structure and then later on you have to use. And arrays of structure, like if you give like this, I have declared an array. If you go here, I have declared an array, right? So I can, with the even, I can access employee one details, right? I can access employee one details. Employee one details, how many details are there regarding employee one? Three details are there: number, name, and address. Now for having second employee, I have to declare another structure variable, right? For access these details again. So instead of declaring these many structures, you can directly declare here array, okay? So that it will be stored here. He has given the three students. So first student, three details; second student, three details; third student, three details. Instead of declaring three different variables, you can declare array here, okay? So next, here let us go with this next slide. This is the program given, okay? Accessing the array and arrays within a structure. See here, he has given the arrays within a structure also, okay? So three subject marks, okay? And two students, okay? For one number, that means for rule number one, three subjects will be there, okay? So for two students, we can access these four details all together in a single hit, okay? And now structure within a structure, okay? You can declare a structure within a structure, which you can call it as a nested structure. See here, this is the first salary, and then the allowance. That means allowance is nothing but the extra amount, like a bonus amounts you just considered as other details of the salary, some dobe allowance, house rent allowance, all these things. So in the salary, we will be having the name of the employee and the department, right? So next, in the salary structure, he is having some b pay d allowance hre. So here, like you can say here, if you go like this, you just take the table, okay? You just go like this. Here, this is the salary, one structure, okay? In the salary, again, I am having, okay? You can go with the three details in the salary. So for this salary, I have declared one structure, and in that salary, again, I am having different categories, right? Some Dobe allowance category and HRA. You can go with the HRA, and it is some B pay, okay? Basic pay, okay? So for the salary, we are having the columns of the name of the employee and the number, right? So in the salary, again, you can declare a structure. So how many structures you can declare in a nested structures? Any number of structures. Nested structures means a structure within a structure. You can declare any number of structures, okay? So pointers to this structure, let us discuss in the after pointers, functions and structures. And now here, unions, the last topic in the session, unions. So what are unions? Unions are nothing but structures. Then why unions? Yes, the implementation, the assignment, the activities, most of the things are similar when you compare structures with unions. But the thing, when you declare a structure, the memory matters. Here, for integer, it is 4. That means the type of the memory allocated is 4. And here, for character, you can go with 1. If you give here 10, it is just of 10. If you give here some, let us assume 10 again, and it is 10 again. Okay, so the total amount is the total space given in the memory is, it is 24 for a structure, right? When coming with the unions, this is not the thing going to happen. To the maximum, the highest memory location, highest, which data type is occupying the highest memory, it is going to allot to that particular memory, to that particular variable. When it is accessing the number variable integer data type, so it inserts the number here. And next, whenever it is accessing the employee name, so it overwrites the integer value of the integer, and it overwrites. In union, it is going to happen. In structures, total the memory of 24 will be allocated. A total memory of 24 will be allocated here. But in when unions, the thing is the total memory allocated is 10. And when coming to unions, the declaration, the members operations accessing the structure union variables is pretty similar to structures. Okay, let us see in detail. Okay, unions, same locations, like almost they are derived from structures. Okay, here in the union, if you see here, the float is having the maximum. If you consider the float, if it is having the maximum space, unions will be given only for this member only. You can the compiler will memory will be given. Okay, when it is accessing the character, the float values, right? Okay, if in structures, if you see, this was the total memory allocated. Okay, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. Okay, structure, the total memory allocated was 9. But in unions, I have taken the integer data type. Okay, so the maximum is integer only. In that scenario, 4 will be assigned. When it is using 4 memory locations, means this is 1 2 3 and 4. These memory locations will be allocated for unions. If it is using accessing a character value, it overrides this location and it just uses the character value. Again, when it is using the integer values, it just overrides all these contents. And that means in unions, the maximum data type is allocated the memory, will be allocated the memory, sharing the storage location. Okay, the same location will be shared by all the members of a structure union. Okay, the size of is a special keyword. Okay, use it to define the size of any particular data type. You can give for the int also. Like size of is a special keyword, use it to know the size of a particular data type given by the memory. Okay, and here integer bit fields 16 bits it will store. In case of data items, it requires much less than 16 bit space, then remaining bits are waste of memory, right? If it is 16 bit of length, if it is using less than 16, means the remaining will be wasted. So that's why the unions concept came into picture, because it is using, it's wastage of memory when compared to structures. We will go with the unions. So that is all about unions and structures. So here you can go with unions. The concept of another concept, like you can case structure padding is there. Structure padding is nothing but number of CPU cycles will be reduced. If compared to structures, unions will be used less space of memory, and in while using the less space of memory, like number of cycles will also be reduced. That is one of advantage compared to unions over structures. Okay, this concept is called like structure padding. Reducing the number of CPU cycles is nothing but structure padding. Okay, so let us wind up the session here. All remaining things let us discuss in the later sessions. Thank you all.